Not yet. Haven't made a cent.
That's crazy. What kind of professional life is that?
I know. I have no idea. My mom keeps asking, like, oh, you keep doing this and that. Are you making money yet?
Yeah, where's the big check?
Like,
Are you
Mom,
Tiger Woods yet?
Yeah, I'm 5th. So did you make any money? Are you sponsored now? I asked her to sponsor my nationals meet.
Your mom?
Mm-hmm.
What'd she say?
She said she gave me some money.
Oh, that's good. The mom sponsorship, that's the best kind.
Yeah.
The momstership, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
You go like PGA Tour, and there's like 100 people in a weekend tournament. You get last, you get like $50K.
$50K.
For last.
That's not bad.
No, it's amazing. And there's a tournament every fucking weekend.
I would humiliate myself for 50 grand.
Yeah. I mean, you got to get yourself in the league, but once you're there.
I'm trying to get into that.
Yeah, why don't you golf?
50.
You chose a shitty sport.
I know.
We all did.
Yeah, golf is where the excitement is at.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Dude, visually, they're about tied, right?
Ain't no party like a golf party,
Mm-hmm.
because a golf party don't stop.
I'm not
I don't
watching either of those sports on TV.
Golf
Or powerlifting.
or powerlifting.
No way. Yeah, I mean, I say that, and I do watch powerlifting streams.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know. I don't watch them as often as you do.
No, I watch every big one.
I don't.
Yeah, every big CrossFit thing, every big weightlifting thing.
CrossFit.
Yeah.
I haven't watched any of those.
Have you seen my muscle ups?
No.
They're pretty good.
You should do a CrossFit video.
I would.
Yeah.
We
You
used
have
to work
time?
with a lot of CrossFitters.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do one.
Back in
I
the
don't
day.
half the workouts though. I just don't want to do. Like, who wants to overhead squat 100 times?
At all, ever.
Yeah.
Not once.
Yeah.
One time.
As fast as possible.
Yeah. Who wants to do
Yeah.
it one time?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
That's the thing that used to actually drive me crazy about CrossFit, is that like they didn't do things as quickly as they could. I don't know, maybe they do now, but like there's a lot of like break taking, you know?
Yeah, I think it depends on how the workout was prescribed.
Yeah.
Because if you have 100, they're just the veterans are gonna dose them out in 10.
You gotta pass. Yeah, you gotta. I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta not kill yourself.
Yeah,
but at
'cause
the
you'll
same
die.
time.
Yeah, you'll die.
Same
But
time.
visually, doesn't make it all that exciting.
So I'm Jim. That's Mike, and we have Avi with us.
Are we live? Are we live and
We're
popping?
live and live.
We're live.
We have the 5th place podium. Are you blushing?
Yeah.
5th place podium. Good company. 3rd Street Barbell lifter. Avi Lieu. What's the last name?
Lieu.
Oh, that's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Avi.
Yep.
But you said some people say Avi,
Yep.
Are they both okay?
They're both okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
but it's Avi Lieu.
Avilia. Mm-hmm.
So then it would be Avi.
It'd be Avi.
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 With a U.
Yeah. No. It's whatever. I'll take anything.
You're not insulted?
No. I like when people use my IG handle, like that nickname, because that means like, oh, they know me.
What's
or
your
something.
what's that? Avi. Avi.
No, not Avi. Let's scratch that.
You put it to the world. Avi or Avi is
Yeah.
your Instagram, right?
Yes.
Just plug it now. I know you want the followers. Go ahead and steal
Oh.
our people.
I mean, if they don't know me already, it's
No, you're stronger. You're stronger than me. You deserve the followers. Go ahead.
It's
Avi
just-
dot.
Lieu. This is my last name. EU.
Oh.
It's a little more complicated last name.
Yeah.
But it's just Lou. Mm-hmm.
All right. How long you been powerlifting?
5-6 years. Yeah. So since I was a senior in high school, so around 2017.
In high school?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I could probably count on one hand the amount of people we've met that actually powerlifted in high school.
Oh yeah, particularly ones that didn't grow up in Texas.
Yeah, Texas is the only spot, right?
Yeah.
How did you even find powerlifting here in like Northern California, which is what we're going to have meetings about, and we had meetings about for the last 6 months. We're going to have even more with Avi and us, is that there's not a lot of, despite the amount of fitness and fitness YouTube and maybe influence, or I don't know what the best word would be, of powerlifting and strength training and CrossFit and barbells in Northern California.
Mm-hmm.
Powerlifting is not very big in Northern California.
Well, there's certainly not a lot of meets.
There's no meets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's like very few gyms per capita, I'd imagine. Again, comparing it to a Texas or an Ohio
Yeah.
or a CrossFits are obviously waning just by the business. But how did you find it? Yeah, because like we're looking at schedules. There's no powerlifting meets around here.
Well, I guess I got more into strength training at first, and I always just started to lift for strength. Like, it was never about aesthetics. And
You didn't want to be a bodybuilder.
no, because I didn't want to be focused on how I looked.
Yeah.
Because then every day you'd just be disappointed.
Aww.
As sad as it
That's me. That's me every day already, though. Yeah, I'm not a
Yeah.
bodybuilder. And I'm still disappointed.
But I was like, I'm fairly strong, right? So I'm like,
How'd you know
so-
that? Did you just punk kids in kindergarten?
No, I was working out with a friend at 24 Hour. And
Why are you plugging our competitor?
sorry, at a commercial gym.
Thank you.
And I would just do the exercises or the workouts that he did. And they would tell me, like, oh,
Yeah.
you are pretty strong.
You're
like,
just using weights that they're like, oh, that's a little weird for how small you are.
yeah.
Because you're not very big.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, cool. Like, I want to see how strong I can get. So from there, it was just like about putting weights on the bar.
How did they even find it? Or they were just like football players, baseball players,
Yeah.
kind of lifted?
I think they kind of were just some gym bros. Yeah. And now, like, I definitely took it way further than they did. You know, they kind of just, they still train, I think. But, you know, none of them are competing in powerlifting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I wonder why that, because I'm kind of the same. Like, all my homies lifted growing up, and they played some basketball or whatever. And I have a couple friends that still are really into, like, training, you know? They bench and they squat, and they kind of whatever. But to take it to the next level, something's got to be, like a personality, probably disorder, for all of us to want to do it. Because I feel like groups don't do it.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's always like groups kind of, you know, we'll do some biceps together, or we'll go like swim or hang out or play basketball together. But then there's always like just one person from the group. It's not the whole group's like, let's power lift, right? Like, even look at like Seabass, right? And him and his brother do it, but like all his homies, they just kind of train, or you know what I mean?
And then the groups form as individuals come together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you meet new meatheads. Why do you think that is, that you're like, all right, I like training. All right, I'm going to go all in on this because you work as a fitness professional and you've competed a handful of times now. Again, joking aside, most recently had a huge performance at USAPL Nationals, Mega Nationals, where you podiumed at the 5th spot. And each meet, your progress is insane. And we've all seen you in here working your tail off in here for 5-hour marathon sessions. Not missing days, not missing reps, not, you know. Why do you think you're like that and some of your homies just kind of train some biceps? Or anyone out there just kind of train some biceps?
That's a great question.
This
I
is my
don't-
job.
Yeah. I don't know. And the thing is, it's like, I have like, what is that? I talk about it a lot, imposter syndrome.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So it's like, I don't even really know how good I am at the sport.
Yeah.
You know, even though I have like the pro card and the 5th.
Yeah, what the hell is a pro card?
You have to like, I don't know the exact qualifications, but I got it, I think, because I placed 5th, and then I also had above a 475 dot score.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
I heard it's like top 3 podiums and then a certain percentage of people's top dots. Or is it Wilkes now? Dots 5?
It's
dots
dots.
12?
Yeah,
It's dots 2, I think.
dots 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my dots was 507.
Flex on them.
Yeah, I'm glad I broke 5.
I'm going to see what my dots is. Just
Yeah.
to compare it so people know how much stronger you are than me. Dots to calculator. Yeah, so why do you think, though, like, did you play sports and you took that to the next level? Because that's my excuse. Like, all my homies play basketball and stuff, but I'm the one in my backyard in the summer playing in 100-degree weather for 3 hours. They weren't doing that. They kind of played basketball, and a lot of them are very talented and very good athletes, but, like, I'm the one going fucking crazy. I'm the one that got my dad to give me a strength coach in 7th grade to play basketball. So then for me to go from kind of doing biceps to now deadlifting my face off, you know, like, it makes sense. Like, I don't like to suck at shit. You know, so as soon as I like something, I want to do pretty good at it. You know, designing clothes. Like, I've liked clothes my whole life. As soon as we started dropping the apparel company, I'm reading blogs and listening to audiobooks, and you know what I mean. I just don't want to suck. I don't want to embarrass myself. That's my reason, I think, why I go harder than others. And I'm like slightly above averagely talented. Like, I'm not a freak athlete. I'm a good athlete. I'm not going to lie and say, oh, anyone can. You know, I squatted 500 in like 2 years of training. Like, that's not normal. But I'm also not a freak where some guys are squatting 500 on their first day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm glad you said that, because like you say that your personality is like, I don't want to suck at it.
Yeah.
And of course I don't want to suck at it either, but like, I don't have that. I'm not like, or maybe I do. Okay. One thing that pushes me a lot.
Didn't you tell me you were a bad student? Who said that?
No, do I come off as
No,
a bad?
I had a conversation recently. Someone who I didn't. Oh, maybe it was Eddie. Someone recently told me they were a bad student who I wouldn't expect. Kyle too. Kyle's like, yeah, I just didn't show up to class. I'm like, dude.
No, I was a tryhard for sure.
Oh, okay.
In school, yeah, I was.
Do you know where the term tryhard comes?
Mm-mm.
I think gaming.
Oh.
I think it's gaming.
I could see that.
My bad.
I was a tryhard in school, so like I tried really hard to like do average, basically.
Yeah.
But no, I did a lot of research on form and technique. That's something that's like, even now I'm a personal trainer. That's one of the things that the other like trainers know me for, is just always talking about form and technique.
Where'd you learn some of that? If you're just training with the broskies.
Mostly social media. Like I'll look stuff up on YouTube. I used to have in my notes app a bunch of cues that I would need to focus on, because when you first start, there's like so many.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I need to focus on. It gets convoluted real quick. But over time, like I just wanted to practice the efficiency of each lift and try different things, and just like kind of perfect it. So that's, I think I've gotten the furthest with form and technique improvements with my deadlift. So like when I'm watching other people, I like to, and I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
It's
but you do
always
lift really good.
Yeah, I try.
Yeah, you
I
did.
try. But kind of like nitpicking form and technique is one of the things that I really liked about the sport. And it's pretty like powerlifting compared to weightlifting is very 2D. It's up and down.
Yeah.
So like everything has to be really locked in. And I'm still working on a bunch of stuff. But that's one of the things, on top of getting a coach who like it has been programming me for a year and a half now.
Yeah. How'd you even find that? Social media? Friends?
My first meet in 2018, he competed there, and we met just as friends, and then we stayed in touch, and he offered, and then, yeah, the rest is history.
Because that's just like a super common question. Like, how do I find a coach? How do I know if my coach is good? And kind of like you talked about cues, like the internet's a beautiful place. You can learn a lot of things, but it also gives a voice to anyone, which is, double-sided coin. Like you can learn from guys like Eric Helms and literally doctors who study lifting weights and learn from the best on the planet. But then you can also listen to Joe Schmo, who doesn't know shit about lifting, and he could have billions of followers because he has a big biceps. You know what I mean? And same with online coaches nowadays, right? Like there's a million of them. So like how do you, and obviously you're making insane progress, so your coach is doing something correct. But like otherwise, how do you suggest people know if someone's a good coach? I mean, you don't have to like mention names or who sucks, but even like where you work, right? Like there's probably good coaches and there's probably bad coaches or lesser experienced coaches. Yeah. But coaching's like anything else. What's the stupid? I mean, it's not stupid because it's semi-true, but people say like those who can't do teach. Yeah, and like that's like kind of true, I guess, when you dig in. But even there, like teachings and coaching's a real skill. Yeah, like some people just
being
can't
able
teach.
Being able to lift well or lift heavy or whatever doesn't necessarily make you a good coach.
100%. And then even just like having the knowledge doesn't make you a good coach.
No, like because how so much of it is psychology.
Yeah, yeah. Who and when to apply it. Yeah, yeah. And then humans, communication.
Right.
Do you know how to find a good coach? Or you just got lucky, you think?
I really got lucky. I honestly really got lucky. He's really good at what he does. I think every coach has their own style. So as I've learned, like, because after, I guess, this past year and a half, I've met more people, and I've found, like, there's lots of different types of coaching styles. But with my coach, one thing I really like about it is that he's all about balance. So he's also asking about, like, how's things going on outside of lifting?
Yeah.
How's work? So kind of, like, managing or being aware of, like, their work stress as well as not just, like, coach-athlete relationship. So that allows for a lot of transparency and a lot of honesty.
Yeah.
So
because it does play a role, right? Like if you're moving and then you can't eat and you're moving states and you got a divorce and then your dog died and then you can't afford your bills or whatever, like that's going to fuck up your lifting.
No, absolutely. So he will like listen and he'll take it into account and like be very like helpful, almost like life coach as well. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
A little bit of a mentor. Mm-hmm. By the way, my dots at my last meet was like 450.
I beat you.
No, you smashed me. Yeah, you smashed me.
Just
I had a
little
bum shoulder, and you know how things go.
Okay.
You know, all right? But just to put it out there, because some people think that I have a little bit of strength about me. There's levels to this shit, especially now, like the amount of talent that's coming into powerlifting. Has that ever been something that motivates you? Like, do you look at records or do you look at the top? You know, like you said, you pay attention to social media, but that was something that I probably was a bad thing that I did in the beginning, because I automatically started looking at like records and who's top 20 in all time and shit like that. You know what I mean? You get into the comparison game, and then I niched myself to a weight class in my brain that I didn't want to leave, et cetera, et cetera. But for a lot of people, that's motivating. In basketball, that was motivating. It didn't hinder me at all, but in powerlifting, it hindered me a little bit. Does any of that get you fired up?
In the beginning, maybe like 3 years ago, I would compare myself to other people, and I still do now. But I would compare myself to lifters in my weight class, and I would see what the records are. Yeah, and I would get discouraged because of how far I was, and I felt like I am never gonna get, like, how am I ever gonna get there? But like, I've actually at that point had unfollowed some people, because I was like,
I noticed that hurt my feelings a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Well,
yeah, it hurt.
I would just see these other women, and I'm like, dang, I want it to be motivating for me. I want them to inspire me. But whenever I see it, I just feel like I'm never going to get there. Like, it's so far out of reach. So even now, I find like whenever I do set goals for myself, they're like within reach, and people are like, your lifetime goal is just that much, because I don't set my bar too high ever.
Yeah.
I just want it to be attainable, and I'll just be happy then. And once I get there, I'm like, oh, maybe I can push a little further. So I think I have a problem with that, with almost being too humble or modest or in the pocket.
Yeah. Moderate goals. I don't know. I don't know a ton of the. We've had a couple like sports psychologists on the podcast and talked about like goal setting and stuff, and I think so much of it's just individual. So I don't know if there's like a right or a wrong. You know, like the shoot for the stars, land on the moon shit probably works for some people. But small attainable goals also could be highly motivating to some people. I think if you can, there's other factors. I think if you can celebrate small wins, if you're good at that, like smelling the roses, et cetera, then probably small attainable goals will allow you to continue to progress. I have issues with that. I can't really like pat myself on the back for anything like cool. So I probably shoot for the moon and just keep fucking shooting. Wait till Elon builds me a rocket so I get up there, you know? But I don't think one's better than the other.
Do you ever give up? Because
I give up every day. I wake up in the morning, say, Mike, today's the last day.
How do you stay motivated then?
I really don't know. I think it's that chip on the shoulder we were talking about before. I just don't want to suck, and I don't want the world to think I suck. It's definitely some of it's ego-driven for sure, which probably isn't healthy.
I wish I had more of an ego.
Well, that's why we're going to hang out more. I'll build it up for you. I'll get you going.
We'll balance each other out.
Yeah,
I'll humble you.
Yeah, we'll fire your ass up. Because, and even you, and I don't know how to say this, I don't think it's insulting, but even you, sometimes I could see people being discouraged by your progress, because what you do is pretty amazing. What'd you hit, like a 50 kilo total PR? Meet to meet in like 4 months?
It was, I don't know in kilos. It was 72 pounds, I think.
Okay, so 30-ish.
In 4 months.
Yeah, so 30-ish, 70, and what's your weight class? So people know.
56 kilos.
Because your voice sounds like you're 300 pounds, but they might want more context.
Now, is 123 one that they set back to after the IPF thing?
Yeah, 123. Now I know them. Before I couldn't, but now 123, 132, 145. Yeah, now I understand the whole world again.
Yeah, I used to be, it was like 125, and then, so I actually did cut, and then I actually weighed 120, so 3 pounds under.
Ooh.
I know, imagine if you didn't. And you still crushed all your thirds.
Yeah, that's why I feel like it's just, I feel like I had more that I wanted to put more up there. But I'm really happy with the 9 for 9, 27 for 27. I've never done that.
Oh, really?
At any local meet.
That's a hot topic for nerdy powerlifters, like if you should go 9 for 9 or not. Like some coaches are like, yeah, you have to, because then, you know, it's smooth and it feels good. And then some people are like, oh, well, then you're being a pussy.
Often it's a competitive environment situation where you're trying, if you're trying to podium or whatever, you're trying to win, then you're sometimes better off one direction and sometimes
or like
better off the other,
or skipping lifts.
Yeah, and that's why, like, having an on-site coach or even somebody who's just running the numbers will help.
Yeah.
They help make the decision kind of for you. Like,
Right.
I mean, the final decision is typically yours, but you just don't know. And the more pressure you're under, the less likely you are to actually be able to do the math yourself.
Yeah. Like you even said, you didn't even know your attempts, right?
I didn't.
Yeah, there's a lot of lifters that are kind of like that.
Yeah, I went blind. Like, I did that in January, did it again for nationals. And I want to be able to get to a point where I can know my attempts.
But you choose your weights in training, and you still smash them.
I do, but I also take small jumps, as you know.
Yeah, tire your little. Yeah, you fucking hit like 4 PRs on an RPE 8 day or something stupid, taking
Like a 2-pound
a fly jump. Yeah, yes, to put a caterpillar on one side.
I know. I'm trying to get myself to stop being so comfortable with those microplates.
Yeah.
I'm like, stay away from those.
I mean, it is a percentage thing, but you're strong, right? Like if you bench 60 pounds, taking a 10-pound jump is pretty fucking insane, right? But you're benching high 100s. Would you bench 181, 180 something?
195 in training. I think it's 187.
Yeah.
And
then a 10-pound jump isn't that's 5%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little more normal. Yeah, some of it's mental, and when we talk about going blind, that basically means that for those listening, like you have a coach or a friend or a handler choosing your weights, and you have no idea what's going to be loaded on the bar. You're just going to go lift and give it hell, which psychologically works for a lot of people too.
Yeah, I mean, they announce the weight before you
you
approach the bar, and you're not necessarily sticking your fingers in your ears and going la 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 la.
But there's loud music. Some people have headphones.
Yeah, you're not paying attention to. You're not listening for it.
I try not to, actually.
Yeah.
I was like, don't listen to them. Don't excite yourself out. My handler would just like, don't stop pulling or don't stop pushing, and then I would just like walk up to the podium and keep repeating that, like, don't stop pulling.
Yeah.
Don't stop pulling.
None of your lifts looked hard at all.
Yeah.
You did smoke them all.
I watched them back, and I was like, damn, like. If I had if I was comfortable with knowing the weight and choosing it myself, and I can get to a point where I don't psych myself out with the numbers.
You could tell coach, hey, I think I got, this.
Yeah. Or I could say like, hey, give me like a 10-kilo jump.
You could probably still do that, even going in blind, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what's on there if you know you have an extra 10. You say, hey, or you build a system. And a lot of this going in blind only really works when you have like a history with a coach or handler.
Yeah.
Like I only did it for like Dan and Pig, 2 of our lifters, that I literally trained with them every single day. I was spotting and loading and training with them every day. So it was easy for me to do that on game day. Or even like some online clients of mine, I'll give them like ranges. Like, hey, I think your first attempt should be this, and then second should be 300 to about 340. If it's a bad day, go 300. If it's your smashing weights, go 340, et cetera, et cetera. Because if you're not seeing every set, every rep, it's kind of hard sometimes.
Yeah, my coach gave me a range for my first attempts, my openers, and I went with all the lower numbers. And then during warm-ups, I was like asking my handler, because my coach unfortunately couldn't make it. So I told my handler, like, are they too low? Because I was like, this is my last warm-up before my opener. Like, okay, are my openers too low?
Yeah.
So we actually ended up increasing all of my openers and staying within the pocket for the most part. My handler didn't, coach me throughout prep, but he still did a really good job.
He probably talked to your coach at some point, or got some info from him.
Yeah, my coach gave him some tips here and there. But definitely, when it comes to competing at a high level, I now understand, and I'm trying to work on, the bigger jumps and understanding more of how many more kilos can I take for the next attempt.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to feel that.
I've made baby jumps.
Yeah.
I've made a lot of progress. So when I'm going into the low 300 ranges for my squats, I did 306, 308, 312.
Yeah.
When I PR'd, I'm like, what is that?
And you could probably squat 340, 350.
I was just so nervous in that new territory with those numbers. I'm like, I probably can't do much more than this,
That's where failing lifts probably isn't a regular thing you want to do, but pushing your limits sometimes to really feel that, and then knowing what a grinder feels like, and then honestly, not to plug away or harp on it, but that's the idea of good company and having a team in powerlifting, even though it's so individual. If you have spotters that you trust, if you're training around the same people every day, they know that same vibe too. If you didn't know me from Adam and I saw your deadlift and you pull whatever, I'd be like, oh, good lift. But since I see you deadlift every day, you could probably come say, hey, man, I don't feel that great, but how did that move? And I was like, hey, that moved really good. Like, you're moving just fine or whatever, right? You can get some feedback because day in and day out, like, you can get so much in your head in training, let alone your meet. And in one training session, it's not a big deal if you're in your head. But if every single training session you're undershooting by 10, 20 kilos, you're probably slowing down your progress, right? If you're supposed to hit RPE 8s or 9s on the top single and you're 20, 30 kilos under which you could crush, your progress may be a little slower.
Definitely. So that's why, like, you would see me come up to you during meet prep. I would have rough days. Like I told you, I was there for like 6 hours.
I know. Your coach killing you with volume. That's why you're jacked, though, too.
Oh, God. It was just, like, mentally draining. I didn't know how tough it would be. But, like, I think it was also because the progress came very quickly, too. Like, I don't know where that strength came from.
I do.
I have no idea.
We talked about training environment, you know?
Oh, yeah, because I started training here.
We were just looking at variables that happened.
That was the biggest change. I went from commercial gym to powerlifting gym.
And, like, the equipment and shit's great, but it is just different. And people, like, wonder, like, oh, no AC and this and that. I'm like, dude, that's part of it. Like, Ronnie fucking Coleman trained in that shit. And I'm not saying you train in heat and you're going to look like Ronnie Coleman, but there's something about getting after it, you know?
Yeah.
There's a reason football's not played in AC, you know, plush AstroTurf, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they're not playing on a mattress.
Makes you mentally tough.
There's something going on that makes you like, all right, I'm here to work. Like, I'm here to get shit done, you know? And, like, a lot of commercial gyms, I can't think of one real commercial gym or even a gym with air conditioning that I've ever stepped in and been like, I'm here to do business, you know? I've always been like,
Well, you can only do a commercial gym with air conditioning is like going to a store.
Yeah.
Like whoever maxes out at the store.
I'm here to buy protein powder and leave. Maybe do cardio. Cardio I could understand.
Yeah.
Being comfortable while you're on an elliptical, sure, that's nice.
And if people do, it's just their minds work different. Yeah, I think.
I don't know. I don't know many people that go to that style gym and absolutely crush their fitness goals.
Well, every guy, every quote bodybuilder on a
TikTok.
Yeah,
maybe TikTok. Yeah. Even those kids, you know, they're trying to find themselves like an Alpha Elite. They're trying to find themselves Gold's Venice.
Probably,
Gold's Venice, like, I think they have AC, but they roll up doors and do AC. You know, there's still an environment there. I can't think, and I'm sure someone's gonna, you know, get mad and say, well, my favorite power lifter, Deadlift 800, and he trains in his AC garage. All right, dude, there's 1 in a billion, you know? But, like, the masses, there's just no way you feel like, it's the same thing like setting up your workflow when you work for yourself, you know? Like, yeah, everyone's different, but, you know, if I don't have, like, my desk at home that I'm set up to work, I grab my coffee, I sit at that desk, and now I'm plowing through emails, I'm plowing through clothing design, I'm getting on the phone, I'm doing my meetings, I'm typing articles. It's just not the same. You need to set yourself up for success, you know?
I think, too, if people can succeed in those environments, they're doing it in spite of.
For sure.
And not because of.
Yeah, it could probably be improved on, or that person's, just a go-getter. I'm going to get shit done regardless.
Yeah. If their intent is to go in there and basically leg press a Harley, then they're going to do that. And
yeah, because everyone's thinking like, oh, I go to commercial gyms and there's jacked guys. Like, yeah, I'm not saying you can't build muscle there, but like if you're going to be Mr. fucking Olympia or even pro or even compete, like be good. I've been to every commercial gym in the area for years, you know, because 3rd Street's only a year and a half old. I trained it. I had to train at regular gyms. And there's no one there getting after it. Yeah, there'll be a random group that, all right, that dude benches 400 and he's got some big pecs, but like he's not progressing. He's benched 400 for 5 years. He's a freak.
Yeah, that's another thing too, is you see a lot of plateauing in commercial gyms. Yeah. People just hit, and they know they can do this number, so they go back and do this number. They get hurt for a while. They come work back up to that number and never get past it again. Yeah. It's just, you know.
That's what I was thinking, like at the commercial gym I've been working at, but also the other ones I've had to train at before 3rd Street. You see, like, people make progress for sure, but the environment and the energy and the vibe and the mentality, they kind of all, like, it's almost they slow each other down.
For sure.
Almost. And when I'm in there, I'm training hard and I'm focusing. I have a program I'm following. Like, I had to do that. It was, like, after COVID, things were picking back up again, but I didn't have I didn't train at 3rd Street at that point. So I was at the commercial gym, and I had to like unfriend people that I became friends with because all they would want to do is talk.
Yeah.
I'm like, we would chat about, you know, about lifting. And I'm like, oh, this person's cool. But then I realized that's all they want to do. And they're here for 4 hours, not because they're working out for 4 hours. They did one compound lift and they're talking for the 3 hours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I stopped talking to them. I know that might sound mean, but
I don't think so, because I do think, I mean, that's everything in life. Like, you can take that to business, to happy friendships, bad friendships. Like, sometimes you just got to eliminate folks because they're slowing down. You're on a different path.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, our training sessions are already long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's all about focus. You can't do your set and then before your second set, you're like chatting and getting cool and like, you're not focused anymore. You lose that focus that you need.
Yeah, when you get to the point of having to, when you've been away from the bar between attempts for so long that you have to find the mindset again, you've been away for too long.
Yeah, and people in commercial gyms don't understand that.
No, they don't at all. And somebody was in the other day who is a member of another gym that I'm not going to name locally, said that I don't have time at this point in my life to deal with people and wait on equipment to spend 3 hours working out. I just don't have it. I want to get in and get my work done and get the hell out. Even if that means that their plan is to go in and work out for 2 hours or whatever or whatever, it means that all that extra time is just kind of lost. And unless the gym, like living in the gym, is your lifestyle.
Yeah. But even then,
like, most people are not there.
Yeah, to me, it's all about culture. And a commercial gym doesn't have culture. It's purely a business, right? They got dollars in, dollars out. You're a number. And then a strength style gym, and that's why probably CrossFit works so well. And at least our experience with the past is a lot of the gym owners are like regional or games athletes. They're the top dogs, and so they live and breathe this. And so they set up the culture in their gym because they're the leader of the gym. Mm-hmm. That's obviously what Jim and I are trying to do here. Like, we're lifters, and so we set up the gym to lift. And there's a culture about it, and people like you and Seabass and Martin and a lot of our core members are power lifters that are younger and learning their way, but they feed. I don't want to toot our horns, but you like feed the culture. There's a time to joke and talk. It's not like we're all bitches in here and we're not looking at each other or saying what's up or having fun, but it's like I know the time that I can come say what's up or joke or not joke or give you feedback or you know what I mean. I'm not going to chalk your ear off 10 minutes mid set.
Definitely.
Mid-set, it's a quick comment, a joke. Maybe it's a feedback. Maybe it's a fist pound. And then it's whatever. The big talks happen after main lifts into accessories, end of workout, beginning workout. Like, everyone kind of just knows that. Music goes up a little louder when we're getting after it. Like, there's a culture about things. Probably from our earlier powerlifting years I learned that, but basketball's like that too. Everyone's tying their sneakers, talking shit. In your high school, you're fucking throwing Starbursts in your mouth. And then, like, you jog around, you're still fucking around, shooting around, and then coach blows the whistle, and now it's team warm-up, and now you shut up. Now we're getting to work, And then maybe there's a water break. You fuck around for 30 seconds before coach yells at you again. Then you're back on the line, and you're getting practice. And so I think a lot of issues with even strength gyms, because now lifting's cool all of a sudden, is that, like, a lot of the owners either aren't there, they're not in the gym often, and we're always here, obviously. And then two, that they're not lifters. And if you're not a lifter yourself, like, you can't build and lead that culture. It's really difficult. Yeah,
there's that mutual understanding. Like, everyone knows it's not like if someone's focused, they're focused doing their own thing. Like Seabass is a few weeks out from his meet. Yeah. So it's like if he's in the zone, he's in the zone, giving him thumbs up after his set.
Right.
Like, he needs that. Like, oh, that looked like this type of RPE. So they're giving that feedback. We do that a lot here. So I'm not rapping on, like, no talking.
No. I know you're not.
Mm-hmm. But I just want to make it clear.
Yeah, don't talk to me. Or same thing with, like, the headphone stuff. Like, I'm not going to tell someone to pull out their headphones. Like, people have done that to me in commercial gyms so many times. Like, they give you one of these, I'm never going to do that here unless it's an emergency. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, if the shit's on fire and I'm going to tell you get your fucking headphones out because we got to run. But otherwise, I'm like, there's some members that I don't talk to because I can tell they're headphoned in and they're kind of in a corner. I'm like, all right, that dude probably don't want to talk to me. I'll maybe throw him a peace sign. But everybody else, I'm saying what's up. I'm throwing peace signs. I'm high-fiving, But, like, yeah, you just got to read the room. I mean, I know that's easier said than done because not everyone has social skills or was raised that way or been around sports or big groups or whatever. I get it. But I think that plays a huge role in people's success.
I agree.
Yeah.
There are people at my gym that I literally see will stop someone in the middle of the workout and talk to them for like 15 minutes.
Dude, it used to happen all the time at when I was at the commercial gym, and I purposely like would go with big ass Dr. Dre fucking headphones, you know. So there's no way you don't know I got headphones on. Yeah. I got a hat on. I probably got my hoodie on, and like I'm not a dick though, you know. So one time one guy would stop me and I'd talk to him, and whether he watched the YouTube or whatever, and then every time he sees me, he's got to talk to me. I'm like, fuck, bro, I'm really trying to get after it right now, and I hate this place. Like I don't feel good in this building. That's
why I try not to make friends sometimes. Sometimes.
That's why you're a jerk.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks to say, but it's just, you have a limited time.
Yeah.
You have work, you have plans. Yeah. You cannot make time for other people's bullshit.
And like you said, powerlifting is like a long, hard sport. The stronger you get and the more you get into it, the longer it takes.
Yeah, when you interrupt that mindset, it's hard to find it again.
Yeah.
So
to your point, we have folks who are in here who are very focused, and they may or may not be powerlifting. It may be just a general fitness person, 100%. But they got their headphones on or whatever. You give them the high sign, whatever, and then when they're on their way out, if they say, you know, goodbye or whatever, they're always like super warm. Right. And it's like you would anticipate them being distant and disconnected or whatever. It's like, no. This is just their time.
Yeah, people
like
have families and shit.
You also think about it in terms of like, we talk about mindfulness and meditation and all that kind of crap. For some people, that's how they get it.
Yeah.
That's where their mind is quiet.
Yeah, that's the only time they're alone.
Right.
I'm a little spoiled, right? Like I just hang out and live by myself, basically. Like, yeah, we have roommates, but like I'm literally by myself all the time. So it's easy. But like, yeah, if you have real roommates that are always in the common areas bugging you, if you have families, if you have whatever, you can love them. I'm not saying you have to hate the people you're around, but you literally don't have time to hear your own thoughts.
Right.
You don't have time to be by yourself. And the gym is that for some folks.
Yeah, definitely. I did look it up, and it is top 5 open raw lifters at nationals.
Get pro
cards. Yeah. So,
and then I think there's a pro series, right? Is that kind of where the gig starts to go?
Indeed, a pro series.
And so you'll be able to qualify or get into those, maybe win cash. If not, just start building up points for whatever. Because all this is new, and that's why all of us jokingly don't know every detail. And maybe we'll have some. We have some friends coming in August, and we'll probably have them on the podcast. Maybe we can announce it now, all of it.
You can definitely announce some of it.
So I think there's a powerlifting expo that's rocking on in Santa Clara. Our boy Seabass is competing that weekend, and we will be there. So we'll be there kicking it. The homies from Game Day Barbell are heading out this way. We got some collaborations and things in the works with them. Shout out to those guys. Although they're young, they're OG in the powerlifting game. So we got some collaboration happening there. We're probably going to have a booth with some merch available at this powerlifting expo. I don't know the exact name. I know it's like the USAPL California State Championship. It's put on by the like Warcat guys.
Power something.
Yeah, but it's like so if you're in the Bay Area, if you're in Northern California, even Southern California, I'm gonna hit up all the homies, see if Bart wants to roll out. But basically, it's an expo. It's a quick expo weekend. There's a powerlift based around a powerlifting meet. There's booths. There's gonna be vendors. It's gonna be a good time. So we're gonna be there slanging some clothes. We were just talking before. Avi's got some people to coach. Maybe even helping little Seabass out, smash some weights. His progress has been crazy too. I think he came in here benching 225, squatting less than 4. He's probably gonna squat 500, probably bench 315.
And he's just getting started.
Yeah, he's a little kiddo.
I'm excited
he doesn't
for him.
know. He doesn't know.
Yeah, he's smashing.
We were watching you lift, and I turned to Mike and said, she doesn't know. She just know.
Yeah.
She doesn't know yet. Power Fest is what this thing is called.
All right, so we got the Power Fest. I believe it's August 14th and 15th?
13th, 14th.
13th and 14th. That was pretty close. That's pretty good for my bad memory. 13th and 14th. I think
Santa Clara Convention Center.
Yeah, Santa Clara Convention Center, California. We'll be there jamming. But what's next for you? You got a little bit of coaching. You're smashing weights again. You got meets planned. What's that pro series? Are you look and try to sign up for one of them?
I'm a noob at this. I have no idea what to do with this pro card.
I think everyone is though. I think it was literally.
Yeah, just
I think it's literally became a thing this year.
December 2021.
Yeah, it was the first time a pro thing. You're one of the first powerlifting pros ever. That's kind of dope.
I just don't it's hard to wrap my mind around, because when it first became a thing, I was like, that's really cool to look forward to achieving, like getting a pro card. And then I didn't think I got it at first. It wasn't like I didn't get the pro card until I think a few days after nationals. It wasn't announced until,
yeah,
because it was just like the top 3. Right. And then I was like, well, I didn't get it this time, but now I have something to work towards. And it's like, oh, no, you got it. I'm like, well, I don't know what to do with it now.
I don't know if a lot of people do. But yeah, I think there's meets. We'll do reresearch with you.
Yeah, I can show you what's on the site.
What do we got? Pro meets.
Okay, so there's one in June. That's this month, actually.
And you got to be a pro.
It was over, yeah. Apparently in Dallas. I don't know anything about it. July, there's UBU Expo in Orlando. There is a UBU Expo. These used to be the Europa. Phoenix, and then December tentatively in Virginia, and then the Pro Series finals is at the Arnold. And
next year?
Yep, March of 2023.
You ever been to the Arnold?
Nope.
We headed to Columbus.
Supposedly $65,000 in cash prizes.
I believe it. I mean, that sounds like cool. Not to rag on the USAPL, which I've already done plenty. Yeah, you got bench only, you got masters, you got this and that, and that's part of what we're brainstorming over here is how we can kind of give back to the sport now that we've got like an established spot. We've always tried to give back with education and promoting lifters and stuff, but how can we finagle this thing? And so we got some meetings to happen, but look for some on the calendar too, maybe in 2023. We got our meet happening September 11th here at the gym, USPA. It's sold out. Sorry if you're late.
Come watch though.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of food, some clothes, some new drops, and some stuff for you guys to come hang out with that. Maybe some special guests kicking it, a couple booths. But 2023 is when we're gonna try to throw some events too, and try to throw down some shit, see what happens.
I was going to tell Avi that I said this at the meet, and this is going to sound somewhat inappropriate, but I'm going to say it anyway. That this is the first time that I've been involved in powerlifting where someone I knew or was affiliated with through a gym or a team or whatever has actually performed very, very well at a national meet who wasn't on a ton of shit.
I mean, even that, like gear lifting. Gear lifting, like we talked about all the mind games that can come in training, the same mind games happening on days. And then you have more external factors in gear lifting.
Yes.
So all these people are like, oh, I'm set to pull 1,000, and like they fucking just bomb out.
Yeah.
Like that's what kind of ruined the sport to begin with, let alone the judging and high squats and all that shit.
Yeah, weight cuts, steroids, and way too much equipment. Like pushing the far edge of equipment.
Yeah, and not like good goals.
Right?
Because you're like, well, I squatted 9, and this is just old school thought. Raw guys did it too. Like, well, I squatted 9 for 2 in the gym, probably good for 1,050. I'm like, well, it doesn't really, fucking work that way. And that's where like coaching's come a long way,
right?
And people are kind of tied in, and you have a little bit more idea what you're actually capable of. Someone asked a question a while ago too. Maybe Avi can jump in on this. I think it was just on my Instagram. Because I think I said, someone asked me my PRs, and I said, like, which one was which. So, like, my all-time squat, heaviest squat is in a meet, and then my all-time bench is in the gym, and then my all-time deadlift is, like, not real, but in a competition, but not in a competition. They basically, like, gave me a 4th attempt, but it was an exhibition meet. But it was the real judges, real plates, and all that.
Was it the deadlift competition?
Yeah, it was the Captain Kilos one. And so just because I was fucking smoking weights that day, I had him load up the bar basically. So like competition rules and setting, but it didn't count for a competition. You know what I mean? But someone asked, why are some of your PRs in the gym? I've always PR'd at a meet. That was the kid's question. You got thoughts?
Well, same thing like with you. My squat and deadlift, well, I actually hit them both in training and at meets, my current maxes. But for bench, I always fall short on bench at meets. I don't know why, but it is more touchy. And
more hit or miss for you. Your bench is pretty, I mean, you're obviously very strong and you have a good amount of muscle on you for your frame, but you're also a very technical lifter. And the more technical you get, the more things hit or miss in general. Yeah,
and then with, like, you never know with the pauses sometimes.
You're blaming judging already, huh?
No.
You're just turned pro and you're already talking shit on all the judges.
I swear to God, I've seen judges pretty much fall asleep waiting to give a press command.
Yeah, it's just a lot of variables, but it's with bench, it's just more touchy. And I mean, even a 2.5 kilo jump from second to third attempt could be like make or break. It could look for like RPE 6 to RPE like 10. For me, because I'm like, I don't know, maybe because I'm smaller.
It's because you're small.
Yeah, so that's usually why. Like, I don't PR at meets for bench specifically. And then I've matched my training PRs in a meet for squat and deadlift. So I'm not sure.
For me, my experience tells me that some of it's coaching style. So if you're not handling a lot of singles in training or in meets, if you're not handling a lot of singles in training, which isn't uncommon, like it's a little more common now for people to handle more specific, heavier loads year round, like a Bulgarian style. But not every coach does that. So if your coach doesn't do that, it's very common to only PR at meets. Right, like a very old school linear periodization style training. You're hitting week of 10s, or week of 5s, or week of 3s, and then you're saving the singles for meet. Clearly, you're going to PR at a meet only. The other thing is that powerlifting, despite RPE and what we know about stress and regulating fatigue and sleep and nutrition, all these things that we have a really good scope on as athletes and coaches, and despite on how hard and serious you take it yourself, there's still so many variables that you can have random good and bad days. And the average lifter, let's say, competes 3 times a year, which is a lot. That's probably not even the average. Let's say the average lifter competes twice a year, even the competitive one. How many times do you train? You train 6 days a week, 5 days a week, 4 days a week. So the chances are that you have a good day when it's feeling right go through the roof with training. So if you're handling singles, even doubles, heavier loads in training, you have 250 opportunities a year to hit a PR versus 3 opportunities or 6 opportunities in meets to hit a PR. So the more experienced you are as a lifter and a competitor, chances are you're going to have PRs that are gym PRs heavier than your meet PRs. That was pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Fuck,
you know something.
dude.
You know
Fuck, bruh. Fuck,
Totally
bruh.
not reflective of my personal competitive powerlifting career.
And gear stuff adds a billion wrinkles to fucking everything.
Right.
And you trained, but it does. Exactly what I said makes sense because you trained West Side, so you're fucking box squatting with bands.
Yeah, you're not actually performing the competition lift in the gym that often.
So if you do West Side or ever, if you do, West Side by the book, if you do a Louis Simmons West Side by the book, every meet's going to be a PR. Your opener's going to be a PR. Yeah. So it's just way different than raw lifting and the majority of coaches. Yeah. So maybe a pro meet, is that maybe the next goal?
Yeah. I mean, I would like to try.
Yeah.
But I have no idea. I don't know. The next thing I have is just like nationals next year, which is in like September, August.
Yeah, they did announce that, which is cool because that was like an issue. Like IPF was the same weekend, although they're not related, but like everything was the same fucking weekend. Now they spread stuff out because the USAPL is taking their own route with a little bit of pro meets. They're trying to go international, et cetera, et cetera. So so nationals is Florida, where they announced it, right? Oh, South Carolina.
Did they?
I don't know. I think it was South Carolina. I think it's Charleston, North Carolina. One of the fucking Carolinas, and I think it's September.
World's Strongest Man is in one of the Carolinas last year.
I think USAPL is too. Yeah, you might be able to find it. I might be wrong, but I thought they announced it. It's one of the Carolinas. Maybe it's not Charleston, but I thought it was one of the Carolinas.
Interesting. I don't know.
I might be wrong.
Well, I want to know because the only time I ever get to travel is for a meet.
Yeah, that's very common for powerlifting, but that's kind of the cool part too, and that's why I thought the cool part of Vegas was.
Oh, yeah.
Like Vegas, there's shit to do, whether you want to drink, whether you want to eat, whether you want to go to a show. At least there's an excuse to go there. So it made sense. So we got September for sure, maybe the Arnold. I think it's pro shit. Arnold's fun.
It is, yeah. I need to plan it out.
We'll dig in.
I need to talk to my coach about it.
Yeah, we'll dig in.
Yeah. It's very high stress.
Yeah.
With preparing for meets.
Yeah.
So.
And it is hard, like time just flies, we're already in July. Mm-hmm. Like, Arnold's going to be here in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, I just started my off season.
Yeah.
This is week 1, day 2.
Yeah, you got a little sick. Had to take some time off.
My shoulder, something's wrong with my shoulder. Haven't been benching past 2 days. So, like.
Achy, you're getting old.
Yeah, thinking about the next, what pro meet I'm going to do is, I have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, that's the real goal of an off season is that you can take care of some of those things. Like, yeah, you can build more muscle, handle more volume, experiment with some programming and stuff, but the big thing is you can get healthy. You can figure out what's missing, why it's missing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. People that prep after prep after prep, you don't have time to breathe mentally or physically to figure out what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, I'm ready to build a strong foundation. So I have literally sets of 9s and 7. Yeah. But I'm not crying about it. I'm like, if I could get strong and do this weight for 7 to 9 reps, imagine what I could do for 1
100%.
By the time it's 6 to 8 months later. So.
I mean, that's the whole idea of really plan it. And I don't get like too dorky with my programming, although I understand and I've listened and read it all. But you start to really plan out a year when you start to take it more serious, and you can make a lot of progress. You know, you're taking it week by week, month by month. You can definitely make progress. But you start to really plan shit out, like for September. I mean, you could obviously compete before there too, but you block things off. And you really periodize the fuck out of shit, yeah, you can take advantage of a lot of gains.
You got to think about it in like long term, because if you're like, oh well, I don't have a meet until maybe the middle of next year, then what? Like, are you not going to take the training now as seriously?
Yeah. If
you think about it as the training now, even though it's the first block of my off season, as the building the foundation, the base for what I'm going to be doing, like month to month.
Yeah.
Like we're going to be training, you know, year round, so
yeah, might as well
take it like seriously.
Yeah.
Like treat those sets of 7, 8s, 9s as like triples, doubles, singles, you know.
Yeah.
So
if you like you said, if you can progress there, eventually you taper down and you're progressing in. No nationals news.
It does actually. They haven't
maybe I was wrong.
Announced that yet. However, they're doing actual regionals next year, 2023.
Sick.
So
I was just talking to shit about Seabass to that, because there's always been a state championship, and it's always been meaningless.
Because there was almost no meet, so
right, and because like there's still just a qualifying total to go to Nats.
Right.
But what if it's actually we make it more competitive, where you have to go head to head with folks? Your qualifying total doesn't matter. You have to do a local meet to qualify you for states. Then you get to the state championship, and you have to come in top 10. And then top 10 get to go to Nats or whatever the fuck.
If people are interested in the details on this, I'll just link this release from USAPL. But here are the regions: Northwest, Southwest, which we are in, which includes
Southwest.
Yeah,
the hell is that?
California, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, and the South is Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi. Southeast is Tennessee, North Carolina, Alabama, Georgia, whatever the hell that one is, and Florida. Oh, South Carolina. I can't do this. You can look it up.
Yeah.
You can look it up.
I mean, that's smart. Yeah, that'd be fine too.
Yeah, it's interesting.
You do a local meet, you qualify for that. Then you gotta come in, top 25 there or something, and those cats go in.
Like regionals? What is?
I just made that up, but that's what we should do.
My question is, I don't know. It's weird that we're not with the Northwest, because there's no. I don't think there are that many lifters up there. There's Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming. It doesn't seem like there would be enough lifters.
So what they should do is they would take they could have made the regions by populace of memberships, but what they can do still, if they are going the route I'm talking about, is say there's more lifters in the Southwest than there is the Northwest. What you would do is the top 25 from the Southwest would go to regionals, and only the top 10 from the Northwest would go to regionals.
So September 1st.
I don't know if that's happening, but
September 1st they're releasing the 2023 Pro Series.
Oh, cool. There you go. Mark your calendar. Okay. That's when you know.
Yeah.
Like when the meets are gonna be.
Yeah. For next year.
Yeah. But I think that's the first like full year.
Full year.
Of like series into a finals, and hopefully making some money.
Right.
I need to bring in some money. My mom is waiting. She's like, you're doing all this, and you keep telling me.
She's seeing LeBron James' contract and wondering what the fuck's going on with her daughter.
Yeah, I'm like, I want you to be proud of me. This is what I did. Yeah. Showing her my medal, and she's like, okay, well, so who's sponsoring you?
Yeah. Can we sell this medal on eBay?
Still you, Mom. Still you. You're my sponsor.
Yeah, some of that will just never change. Like even the first podcast we've ever done together 10 years ago, Jim and I talked about sponsorship, and not that it's overrated. It's really cool to be able to support athletes in a way, but it's never going to be that of professional sports.
Oh yeah, I don't really actually.
I know
care.
You don't, but
yeah, I don't.
You know what I mean?
Care.
But people think that sometimes, and like you see so and so, with a Corvette on fucking Instagram, but that's literally top beyond 1% that are actually getting paid that kind of money, and that's by viewership and influence. It's sadly not by how much you can lift, and even if you can, like viewerships of these sports, they're just not what we think.
Yeah. Like to people like my mom, she doesn't really know the sport too well.
Has she ever gone to a live meet for you?
No.
She too nervous or no?
No, she's just really busy.
Yeah.
But she did watch my my meet live, like nationals live at work, and she was like, I was screaming at the phone, and your aunt was like, you think she can hear you? So that was cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, she's always been really busy. So like family at like any sports events or like even any meets doesn't really happen for me. So for her to even watch it live was cool. But to her, it's kind of like you've made it or you're more accomplished if people are paying you for it.
Right.
You know?
Which is true, but like this sport's just so small, you know, and it's hard to get.
Yeah, I don't do it for that though. You know? So it's all good.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Nothing says thank you like money, though.
That is true. So if you can find ways to float around, you know, people out there.
Yeah, I'll take it.
It's hard.
I'll look out for it.
You're open for sponsorships.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, let them know.
Well, I don't have that though. Like you said, the people who do make money off of it, like that 1%, they have more than just. They're not the strongest.
And even in powerlifting, it's not even 1%. You know, it's 0.001%. I was just even talking fitness. You know, fitness is a $500 billion fucking worldwide industry, and still people aren't getting sponsored like you think because it's just difficult. Yeah. You know, you're not LeBron James. You're not the guy. There's no the guy.
If you think about professional sports salaries, it's mind-boggling. You can't wrap your mind around where all this money is coming from.
Yeah, the NBA, the latest contract, a couple guys got like 5-year whatever, but their very last year, I think they're going to make $62 million.
Good God.
Yeah, and NBA is not even the biggest, right? Like,
no.
Soccer is the biggest, and then probably baseball.
Yeah.
And then probably basketball, NFL. It's obscene amounts of money. Like, but the amount of eyes that are watching LeBron James play every week, you know, twice a week is a billion times more than powerlifting.
Yeah.
So until that flip-flops, which I never foresee happening, that's just the business we live in.
Do you think it is growing though? Like,
I don't know. We've talked about that too. I think powerlifting's growing, but I don't think you know, on the little chart here that it's accelerating as fast as it did, you know, 2012 to 2016. There was explosive growth in the barbell space, both weightlifting, CrossFit, and powerlifting. I think it's probably growing, and I'm sure we can get some numbers to see what the memberships look like year to year. COVID probably slapped it in the face a little bit, right? And fucked up the stats because you couldn't compete, so less people have memberships, et cetera, et cetera. I think it'll stabilize, you know. That's a little bit of pure business Mike speaking. It's a difficult sport. It's boring, you know, the simplicities, you know, that's what's challenging. And like we talked about, there's a certain mentality and a certain person that enjoys that monotonous work, and some people just don't. And so for it to be, you know, a household sport, it's going to be very difficult. But it is way more common. You go on TikTok and all the kids are just shreds life aesthetic bros. They know what powerlifting is, you know, and they talk about it and power building and stuff. So the popularity of it in general, I would say, and the awareness of it is way up, and that might be growing faster than I'm talking about. But the actual participation, I think it's going to take a lot of work. And again, those are some of the meetings. We have a meeting with Avi after this podcast too. Some of the meetings that we're going to try to help that. Just because I think there is some beauty in it. Whether you compete or not, I think there's some beauty in powerlifting that can really help people's mentals and kind of how they view life. I think if you understand even the basics of programming and you understand the simplicity of the task, but the complexity of the execution that is powerlifting, and the kind of delayed onset, you know, gratification kind of deal that powerlifting is, you may be touching 300 pounds for 3 months straight before you get to touch 315 and get excited for a PR. I think a lot of that translates to friendships, work, to relationship work, to business work, and I think it can help a lot of people. So that's the goal here over at Good Company. Hopefully Avi's going to be here a long time and be a part of it. Plug away, dude. Hit your Instagram, hit your MySpace. Let's get you a fucking at least one sponsorship offer off this thing.
Oh, my Instagram is avi.lieu, so avi.lieu.
And mostly lifting. You journal all your stuff there.
Yeah, I'm mostly just lifting on there. There's not much to see.
No, that's a lot of
just
smash.
My lifts.
No, a lot of strong lifting, some educational stuff. It'll be good for people to follow you, because a lot of people go into lifting and then they start doing backflips and doing weird shit on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Some people just need to learn.
I have no extra flair. It's just lifting. Honesty. Like, I try to be transparent with when things aren't going smoothly as well, because yes, this past, like, I guess all of 2022 right now? Yeah. All of this year, I've been making a lot of progress. So it's like, people keep saying like, oh, it's a PR every week. And like, yes, it is. And it almost got annoying. Yeah. Because I'm like, I don't want to keep like posting as if I'm bragging. Right. But
But you were smashing.
Yeah. But I want it to be like clear that I'm I have days where I'm struggling too.
And your 2021 probably look differently.
Yeah,
that's kind of the beauty of powerlifting too. Is when the wave's hot, you got to ride it.
Yeah.
But then sometimes it's gonna slam your ass in the sand.
I just strive to be like honest and genuine on there. I'm not like putting up a facade or like adding flair or going out of my way to post the most like crazy photos or anything.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think you do a great job. And I think a lot of people can learn from your lifting style, your technique, and the stuff you put out.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, clothing available at 3sb.co if you want to support the show, if you want to grab some of your favorite, and I guarantee the best, most comfy shorts you'll ever rock with. 3sb.co. Brand new shows every Wednesday and Friday. I'm Silent Mike. ThirdStreetBarbell.com. This comes out Wednesday, so July 9th. We've got an open gym, open house. If you're in town on Saturday, 8 a.m. to noon, free open gym. Come smash some weights. Absolutely free. Bring your friends. We're going to have a good time. And I'll catch you Friday.
I am at the Jim McD on all the social media. This show is 50% facts, where percent is a word and 50 is just numbers. 50% Facts is a Spreaker Prime podcast in association with iHeartMedia on the Obscure Celebrity Network. And we'll talk to you Friday.